at the end of the day, it's all about freedom.
What I view as government can be extremely localized so that you almost have a free market for governments where...
I'm going to argue you down to your government being like one guy with a goat calling himself government. All right, fine, Rob. You can have that guy.
No, I would think even if like what you knew as every city here, there was no federal government
Let me say
in
this
every
way, right?
city... And by the way, you could go fucking move to the middle of nowhere in Texas and I guess claim something as your own if you have no neighbors. Like,
Some
who's
unoccupied
gonna,
land.
Yeah, why not?
There is lots of uninhabited
Right, so
land.
I don't. If there's no federal government, I don't know who's going to go disturb you on your uninhabited
Go
land.
homestead.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. So
Right. Well, let me say this. Right. I think what it comes down to a lot of the times is this: when you're saying we need to do things by force or have a monopoly, have one party ruling by force. You go if there is this. If you were to look at any industry and say there's like which by the way this happens all the time with people in who like people on the left, right, who advocate for government. They'll go all the time, they'll go like, there's this industry, but there's a big problem in this industry, or there's a big demand in this industry that all of these people won't invest in, but I want to force them to invest. No, I know I've never worked a day in my life in this industry, but all these industry experts don't know that they need this rule that will make their industry. And it's a little bit like, you don't know anything about that. And the idea that there's something so obvious, there's some demand that's so obvious, like everyone can come up with who will build the roads or how will the courts, right? Everyone needs it. It's in everybody's interest, in everybody's market, self-interest, everything you could imagine. It's in their interest that we have roads and laws and courts and rules and things like that. So I don't think it's this. I don't really imagine that in the absence of people being forced, that they will all these things will disappear and we will turn to like chaos.
So I think in my idea you end up in a very similar place because what I think is you can almost you could even do this now.
I don't disagree
if there
with
were
that.
completely open borders. Let's just imagine there were completely open borders between countries. In my opinion, you would turn countries into companies.
In my world, though, like or whatever we're saying, like a libertarian private property world, but there's open, meaning there's no government borders.
There's
basically.
no government borders.
Yeah.
You want to walk into Canada tomorrow, go live in Canada, you can do that, right?
Well, it depends on what's on the other side of Canada. Is it like some dude's yard or something? I can't
No,
just walk
fine,
in there,
okay.
but I can walk up a road.
You show up to what's now Canada. Canada's happy to let you live there.
Sure.
They'll give you health insurance, but you got to pay their taxes and abide by their laws.
I think
you
it'd be
decide
very,
you don't want to live in
yes,
Canada, you go back to the American border, all of a sudden you got to live by the American laws, you got to pay their taxes.
Well,
now here's
okay,
what
go
happens,
ahead.
especially as you allow that government structure to be more and more localized, you force government to operate in a way that benefits you, because if not, you're just going to move somewhere else. At the end of the day, government then becomes a company. They want your money. They want your tax dollars. They're going to be forced to actually, let's say let's imagine one of their jobs is to maintain good roads. If they need you as a customer using their roads, they're going to be the same as a private company.
But you're preaching anarchy now, brother.
No.
You are. You're saying that all
what
of
I'm saying is,
hold on.
yeah.
You've got an organization that's providing these services, roads, courts, whatever you want to say. Whether the same, you're saying they're going to be better and more efficient when they're competing. They're going to work for you better, the same way any company does. They're going to provide. Right. They're going to need you. They're not. So all we're saying is essentially what anarchy is saying is that organization that provides that service does not have any more rights than anybody else does, any abilities to violate anyone else's natural rights. They can provide this service, and they have to convince people to pay for it.